How does it feel to be turning, what are you, 47?
I'm turning 26.
Are you turning 26?
I honestly...
You are not turning 26. You are 26. You're turning 27,
Okay.
you fucking twink.
I forgot how old I am because for 2 years, anytime, like, you know, like 3 months before my birthday, I would always trick my boyfriend and say things like, oh, wow, I can't believe I'm turning 25 in a few months. And I would always do it while he was busy sewing or doing whatever. And he would always be like, yeah, I know, that's crazy. You're going to be 25, getting up there.
Messages.
Getting up there. And he would always be busy. And then I would trick him. And then like 2 weeks later, he'd be like, wait a minute, you're not fucking turning 25. You're turning this old. So then now it's come to the point where I don't remember how old I am. But according to you, I'm 26, turning 27. Feels great because I'm still a lot younger than you, so.
Wow, what an asshole. Okay, fine, whatever. That just means I'm more mature, wiser, beyond my years, actually.
Beyond your years?
Wiser beyond, yes. I feel like I have the maturity of, say, a 50-year-old daddy, but I have the body of a 20-year-old... gay man. I don't know what I'm looking for. The 20-year-old go-go boy.
20-year-old go-go boy.
Yeah,
I could see that. You're not too far off.
I'm definitely not go-go boy status, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
Though you are definitely I wouldn't say like mature as like a 50-year-old dad. I would say like you just act like one. I don't know that ties into your maturity. I am glad you got rid of your phone holder that you attached to your
I only got
loop.
rid of my phone holster because it was catching on too many things at work and it broke. That's why. I would love to have my phone holster again, but I have not found one that works for me yet. I'm about to buy one of those canvas ones where I can just clip on and hook things in. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want, okay?
You just want to be full dad status.
I do. I'm ready to be full dad status.
You need to get a dad bod.
I'm done.
Then.
I'm on my way there, sadly.
After the wedding, you are.
Ever since the wedding, I am on my way to dad bod.
If you can't be honest with your friends, then...
It's true. It's true. I'm on my way there. I feel like I've given up. I finally hooked to the woman of my dreams, and
well, so who are you trying to impress now? Nobody.
No one.
You're done.
No one. It's not really fair to her, but she can't leave me. I'm pretty sure that's true. It's actually for a long time in the gay marriage struggle, which if you haven't listened to our episode from last week, go back and listen to Love Wins. It was actually, there was this awful part where people were legally allowed to be married, but they hadn't put in that you could be divorced as a gay couple, which was so stupid. So like there were places where you couldn't be divorced. Texas, of course, was like, well, fine, we'll let you get married, but we're not going to let you get divorced.
You have to stay married no matter what.
Exactly.
And also, but if any of our straight couples went over to L.A. or Las Vegas, and they got married by an Elvis impersonator.
Yeah.
Is that Las Vegas? Yeah, that's Las Vegas.
That's Las Vegas.
And they got married by a Las Vegas impersonator at 4 a.m., drunk off their asses, and they wanted to come back and get divorced. That's fine.
That's perfectly fine.
But if you homosexuals want to get married, you're going to have to stay married because you wanted it so bad.
That's right. So,
I don't know. I had like 6 different accents all in one, but I did.
You know what? Because Texas is much more multicultural than they like to admit.
That's true.
That's why.
That's true.
Anyways, we're your hosts. Welcome to Your Queer Story. I am Evan Jones.
And I'm Paul Hobbs, the favorite host.
Who's about to be another year older tomorrow. Happy July 4th to our little queer patriots out there.
This does air the day before my birthday. Wow. Everybody sing happy birthday to me.
Nobody. That's why I was talking about your birthday in the beginning, you dumbass.
Well, I don't pay attention to things.
I know you don't. It's July 4th. It's the birth of our nation.
And guess what? I was born the next motherfucking day, bitches, so I get fireworks every day on my birthday.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which has not been safe for a lot of birthday parties, but he's got
We did it anyways.
So, so today we're going to be patriotic, and we're finally going to be a little... it's not a scripted day. There will not be a script accompanying this episode on the website because this is unscripted. We're actually stealing a lot of this from The Advocate. So thank you, Advocate, for putting this out there.
Advocate.com.
Advocate. Yeah, if you haven't, The Advocate is it's a magazine. It's a gay magazine. It's one of the oldest magazines, like longest running magazines that's out there. And it's been one of the essential resources for queer content. There's a lot of serious, good articles out there, and there's a lot of loose articles like we have today. And so this is a laid back, great content. This is a laid back episode. Don't you motherfuckers act like you're listening to our episode on July 4th anyways.
Right. Unless you're that one diehard fan, Deanna.
My sister. Thank you, Deanna. She's sitting there right now sewing something like, I'm listening.
Yep. And commenting on the status like, I'm listening, love it.
Yep.
We appreciate it, honestly, because support doesn't always come from the places you would expect it. So thank you, Deanna.
Yeah. Yes.
And thank you everyone else for listening.
Yeah. Thank you to all our Patreons keeping us funded and supported. We appreciate you guys. So today we're reading off the 15 gay founding fathers and mothers, which founding fathers and mothers is kind of a stretch because it goes all the way through Abraham Lincoln. Also, I do have a beef with a couple of people on this list.
Yep.
And
we'll get into it.
Yeah, and some people, there's one person who's not on this list who absolutely should be on this list. But let's start. And let's start with probably the most famous gay founding father, Alexander Hamilton. So, big homo.
Big homo raging bottom, I'm assuming. I don't know for a fact. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm really excited. So a couple of things. This month, I'm going to be seeing Hamilton, the play, which was based on the book Alexander Hamilton, which I just downloaded and I'm excited to listen to. The book, the biography. Mm-hmm. So let's see. They say, while acceptance of LGBT people may feel like it only hits its stride in recent years, homosexuality has always been a part of America. Well, we know that.
The fucking entire world, actually.
That's right. Actually, if you listen to our episode from last July 4th, where we talk about the Puritans, we talk about how gay America was in the early days. Mm-hmm. Indeed, many of the nation's founding fathers partook in the company of other men. Here's a look at some of the nation's architects from the colonial days to Civil War who prove LGBT individuals always have been a place in America's tapestry. This is written by Jacob Ogles, by the way. Ogles? O-G-L-E-S. Thanks, Jake. You want to go?
Oh, I was just like...
You're like, he's just sitting there nodding along like I'm going to do this whole fucking podcast myself.
So while the romance didn't make it into the Broadway show, Alexander Hamilton maintained a relationship for years with fellow revolutionary John Lawrence. In letters to Lawrence, Hamilton made clear his love. "Till you bade us adieu, I hardly knew the value you had taught my heart to set upon you," Hamilton wrote. Very poetic. Mm-hmm. Now you just say, "Send me dick pics."
Yeah, that's right.
It's a little different. The relationship between the men continued until Lawrence died in battle in 1782. Mm-hmm. Hamilton, of course, also had genuine love for his wife, Elizabeth Schuyler. Schuyler?
Schuyler? I think it's Schuyler.
And once had to publicly apologize for an affair with Mary Reynolds. But plenty of documentation about the relationship with Lawrence indicates America's first Treasury Secretary was bisexual. Yeah,
so first of all, if you want to know more about Lawrence, you can listen to our military episode, part 1. And there's actually a couple people in this episode that we reference that we dive more into it in the military episode. This is a very, again, unscripted episode. So, but
we're just giving you names.
We're just giving you names, some little facts, some little tidbits to titillate you and keep you on the hook until next week when we come back. But Hamilton, it was a very public affair with Mary Reynolds, but he also, we know there was a lot about John Lawrence and real intimate, hot and heavy stuff. I don't have the letters, but I'm really surprised that Lin-Manuel Miranda didn't put more of that in his play.
Yeah, that is surprising.
I am surprised. It's very common knowledge that he shared a bed like Washington, which I think is in the next point. Yep. Washington encourages John and Alexander Hamilton and von Steuben to enjoy each other's company.
Gotta enjoy that dick.
Yeah, you gotta enjoy that dick, especially during war. What else are you gonna do?
Right, you're gonna die the next day, maybe. Might as well fucking get it.
That's right. Well, and this was at the cusp of that time where it was acceptable for people to sleep together if they were in the military, It's like, well, while we're at war, of course we can, fuck each
might
other.
as well. What else are we gonna do?
Well, other than fight battles.
Well, yeah, but when we're not fighting battles, we're just miserable. We might as well at least have sex.
Fuck each other. Well, it was like that kind of thing. Like still that like Greek remnants of like, of course you fuck each other when you go to war, but when you go home, you stay true to your wife.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead.
Number 2, George Washington. Surprise, bitches.
Which I don't think that this one counts. Maybe an ally. I don't.
We'll see. At one point during the Revolutionary War, George Washington, perhaps America's first great LGBT ally,
What did I say?
encouraged Alexander Hamilton and John Lawrence to openly share a bunk while at camp. He was also a Freemason, and as such, dealt with rumors about the sexual practices of that organization.
Yeah, when I was doing my secret societies, I didn't find any of this about the Freemasons, but I want to look into that to see if these guys are just fucking each other left
We
and
could
right.
do part 2. We could infiltrate.
We could. We'll send Paul in there.
I don't know about that. I thought we could send you in. Newspapers alleged at the time that Freemasons would engage in anal penetration with wooden spikes. That sounds terrible.
I don't know if that could considered as something that's fun, or is that like an initiation?
That sounds terrible.
What does that mean?
She's got the hammer. All right.
All right, Johnny, you're up.
Nailing it in while they scream. Jesus.
Like, are you sitting on the anal spikes? Is this like a ritual where they all get together and they
All
like
right,
sit
boys,
down?
lube them up. Make sure you use plenty of spit.
Like someone's
Now squat and press. Squat and press.
Someone's like, yeah, I came to join the Freemasons.
You gotta take a spike up the ass.
That's the rule. All right. Friedrich von Steuben, which we also cover in our military episode 1, was a Prussian military officer subjected to rumors about his sexuality. Baron Friedrich von Steuben was recruited by Ben Franklin to join America's cause. Credited with bringing modern warfare and rigid discipline to the revolution, historian Harry Scherenschwolf and others say von Steuben helped turn the war around. Yeah, we have a lot about Steuben. He's the one that would have his naked parties at his house with all the guys.
He was the gayest of the gay.
He was.
If you want to listen to more about these people, while we won't post a script, we will post links to, like, if we've covered this person, we'll post a link to the episode on our page, so that way you can at least go there and listen to the relevant episode.
Yeah, so you can get more history. But yeah, von Steuben had a lot. He was openly gay. He really was. Like, Washington, Franklin both knew that Steuben was gay, and everyone knew.
He walked around the camp with a butt plug in, like.
I don't think he was that gay, but he was very gay. And what's interesting, because there's all this such thing about how like gay men are so effeminate and they can't fight and they can't do anything. And Steuben's literally the reason why our militia got whipped in shape. Like he was the reason,
because otherwise they were pieces of shit. Not pieces of shit. They just weren't trained.
Yeah, they weren't. They were a ragtag militia, and he turned them into a functioning army. Without him, it's arguable that we could have been able to stand up to Britain long enough to be able to turn the war around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So make all your comments about fairies, but that's why you're here, fuckers.
Absolutely. So number 4, Charles Adams.
I want to research this one. Never heard about this one before.
Well, here you go. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. Son of President John Adams, Charles Adams in his youth became a protege of Friedrich von Steuben.
So we know what that meant.
Yeah, he was getting it in the butt. And would grow comfortable in his homosexuality. He lived many years with John Mulligan, but he fell out of favor with his father, the president.
Yeah, so John Mulligan, also in our military episode, he was the third man in kind of like this love triangle between Steuben, Lawrence, and Mulligan. The three of them kind of lived together. I think Mulligan was a little younger. That's probably why he took up with Charles Adams. But really interesting, because John Adams was a really staunch Baptist, like real staunch Christian, hardcore. And I guess that's why he fell out of favor with his father.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
You're up.
Pierre Charles L'Enfant. Part of George Washington's inner circle, the Frenchman Pierre Charles L'Enfant would become the architect of the nation's capital in the 1790s, as documented in The Making of Urban America. I'm doing the best I fucking can, Paul.
Yeah, that's what you sound like.
Shut up, Paul. Shut up. It's nice to know that another year has not made you another bit kinder.
No, it's just made me more bitter.
He only gets more salty with age. But historian Bob Arns says the planner fell out of favor for his insubordinate behavior, while also raising eyebrows among political leaders by transgressing sexual
You know what
boundaries.
he got in trouble for? He fucked in every single room of the White House.
He did.
Every
As
time
he's building it.
Every single room, he's like, all right, the living room's done. Come get this booty.
Charles, hello. Oh my God. I hope that's true. I hope that
I
two men have
100%
fucked
believe
in every,
that.
which I also think is true. I think that two men have definitely fucked in every room, and I think it's been going on for centuries.
Oh, I 100%
in the White
think
House.
so.
A lot of homos in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Lawrence. Wait, number 6. John Lawrence. It should be no surprise that one of the earliest American leaders fighting against the practice of slavery also knew the challenges of being ostracized. Lawrence found success as a military aide to General George Washington, sucking his dick. He perhaps was best known himself for recruiting slaves to become soldiers in the Continental Army, where they could literally fight to gain their freedom. And I don't know who wouldn't join that.
Right?
I mean, unless you had a family that was also enslaved. But if you were a single, by yourself loner.
Well, yeah. But you, even if you had a family, like maybe
you
if I
got-
get
could
out,
you-
I can help them.
Yeah, that's true.
But how awful though that they're
Yeah.
literally fighting under this lie. We're like, we're fighting for equality for all. What is it? What is it? The pursuit of happiness for all.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Happiness, liberty, and freedom or something like that.
but then it ends up just being a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah. His personal correspondence with Alexander Hamilton reveals to historians that the two men were likely lovers, with the two remaining close until Lawrence died in battle.
Yeah, maybe one day, I don't know, we'll get into him more. Like I said, again, on the military episode. But it's sad because he seemed like a really good man, and he's been erased from history because he was so gay. He was so gay. Again,
That's what happens.
It wasn't like Alexander Hamilton. People could be like, oh no, he had a wife. He had an affair.
Yeah, and speaking of being erased from history, I was talking to people about the podcast. I'm like, yeah, we just covered some stuff about the Holocaust a couple episodes ago. They're like, why'd you cover the Holocaust? And I'm like, because gay people died. And they're like, what do you mean gay people died?
Yeah.
Like, people just don't know.
They don't know. And that's why we do this, because we're like, we've always been here. Wow, you just bumped that, didn't you?
Probably, yeah.
We're like, we've always been here, and we've always been helping make history with you.
Right next to you.
Exactly. And we've been suffering the same indignities, and oftentimes worse, because on top of the fact that we're fighting for freedom and everything, you're also fucking firing us and locking us up and forgetting about us because we're fucking queer.
Pretty much.
All right. Gilbert du Motier, Marquis de Lafayette. Well, why was the Marquis de Lafayette first name Gilbert?
Because he was gay.
No, that's why he was just called the Marquis de Lafayette, because there's nobody who's going to call him Gilbert.
No.
Gilbert. Gilby. So the friendship between Washington and Gilbert, George Washington did have a lot of gay friends, so I just want to say that. Okay, the Marquis de Lafayette has been celebrated in history. Some of their correspondence indicates that Lafayette desired more from a friendship.
Probably got it too.
Including a letter in 1799 in which he says he feels ignored by Washington. Complaints ought to be permitted to my affectionate heart.
George Washington is ghosting me.
Georgie, why do you don't want to hang out with me anymore?
Respond to my texts.
I'm trying to fight a fucking war and go see my wife. Why do you need to see your wife?
Mm-hmm. Hey Christians, today's episode is brought to you by Honey, the incredible browser extension. Honey searches the web for you and automatically applies the best coupons to your order. I have personally saved a ton of money using this extension. When we upgraded our audio equipment, we saved around $20. That was just one purchase. The average Honey user saves $30. How could Honey be any better, you ask? Honey now offers exclusive coupons for the Your Queer Story merch shop. So make sure you check it out while you shop for your new swag. To learn more, visit yourqueerstory.com/honey. Again, that's yourqueerstory.com/honey. All right, and number 8 on their list is Betsy Ross.
No, this one I don't agree with.
We are not covering it because the reason she is on...
Yeah, why she's on there.
Should I read it? Do you want me?
Well, just...
So basically, she's on this list because a psychic medium said that she was gay.
Yeah, she said...
That's the only reason. Maybe she was. But we have no evidence
She
of
said
that.
in 2014 that Ross came out to her in a psychic conversation, "I am gay and I fly the flag of pride and liberty for all of us."
There's no evidence of this. There's no historical...
Not even something that we stretch.
So instead, we're going to talk about Catherine Lee Bates.
That's right, yeah. We'll talk about a real lesbian in history. So Catherine Lee Bates, which you can find on our Wellesley Marriages, I believe it's episode 12. Catherine Lee Bates, she is actually the author of God Bless America.
Oh my God, that song that everybody knows and everybody sings about America was written by a lesbian. Did you know that?
Did you know that?
If you listened to Your Queer Story, you knew that.
That's right. So our little queershins knew that. They're not surprised. Yeah, Catherine Lee Bates, she was with her partner, I want to say for 30 years, but it was definitely for a long time. The Wellesley Marriages in general was basically a college run by a bunch of lesbians. It was for women's
100%.
college. Yeah, it was a women's college. It was a Wellesley college, and the people called them Wellesley Marriages because these women would go there and they would just end up being roommates and very good friends.
Wow, they just seem to live together and they never leave each other's side.
They just don't.
They're really good friends.
They're just really good friends. They just never want to get married. They've had a couple proposals they turned down. I don't get it.
Yeah, just real strange.
It's like my grandma says that me and Samantha are real good friends.
You're real close. You're best of friends.
We're best of friends.
You're best friends.
We are best friends. So Catherine Bates. So when you're singing God Bless America, if you're singing that this 4th of July, thank a lesbian for that song.
Yeah, even all you straight people.
Yeah, all you straighties.
Ready? Number 9. Ben Franklin. Yes, that's right. Benjamin motherfucking Franklin. The charismatic founding father may not have been gay himself.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. He was
bisexual or pansexual at the very fucking least.
He was into everything. He was like the original freak.
He was fucking everybody, and yes, exactly. That's the thing. Ben Franklin was fucking everybody in France, and I don't think it was anything about whether being attracted to boys or girls.
I think he was pansexual.
I think he liked to have sex, and there was nothing was going to get in the way of that.
Right. So, while serving as an ambassador to France, it was Franklin who recruited strategist Baron Friedrich von Steuben to provide his expertise to the rebellion, despite knowing the soldiers' homosexuality, because they probably fucked. Letters reported to the Washington
They're like in the middle. He's like, "Hey, wait a minute." He's like, fucking about him. He's like,
"You want to come fucking help with this revolution?"
He's like, "Yeah, we got a revolution.
You want this?
I love revolution.
You want this revolutionary dick?
Sound off in my ass."
So letters reported in the Washington Blade reveal that part of Franklin's motivation was the knowledge von Steuben could face prosecution for sodomy in Europe because he just fucked him. So a station in America served as a sanctuary. Of course, AIDS activist and writer Larry Kramer lists Franklin among the American historical figures he believes were gay, so maybe Franklin was more than an ally, which I feel like
he was. I'm surprised. Like,
there's a lot of proof.
We're like, well, we're gonna add medium fucking Betsy Ross on here. We're gonna have Betsy Ross on here because a medium said she was gay, but we don't know about Franklin. We know Franklin was fucking people.
He was the original freak.
I think Larry Kramer's the one that, and I could be wrong. I think he wrote the 101 Gay People, or what is it called? 101 something. It's a good poop book, I always say, because it's like 1 to 2 pages of like 101 people who were gay. And Franklin was so he was queer. He was definitely queer.
100%.
Exactly. But he did. It was nice though, because he got von Steuben out of Prussia because he was going to be persecuted.
And turned the entire revolution around.
Exactly. Yeah. The Jamestown Settlers. Richard Godbeer, author of The Sexual Revolution in Early America, notes that Jamestown was originally established as an all-male settlement, and he expresses skepticism that the colony was celibate. He notes that many of the men paired off to form households in the 17th century Chesapeake area, and says it seems reasonable to assume that many of the folks were coupling sexually as well.
They're like, yo, no homo.
No.
I have this raging boner and I haven't seen a woman in like 8 months.
Exactly.
So do you think we could like take care of this? You can like keep your eyes closed and pretend it's a woman. No homo, but like
no homo. We're just gonna set up house together. We're not gay. We're just like have a household. No, but also the Puritans. We talk about this. Check it out. That's one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, that one was fun.
To this day, it's one of my favorite episodes.
Number 11, William Rufus Devane King. The first U.S. senator from no place other than Alabama.
Fucking Alabama.
This is why the Handmaid's Tale is happening there. It's because of this guy. William Rufus Devane King is considered by many to have been the nation's first gay vice president, according to the Washington Blade. No one tell Jeff Sessions. He and James Buchanan shared a home while the men served together in the Senate, and Texas Christian University professor Paul F. Buller Jr. says Washington insiders in their day gossips that the distinguished gentlemen were more than roommates.
No fucking shit.
Wow. King eventually died 25 days after being sworn in as Franklin Pierce's vice president. That sucks.
Yeah, so anyways. So, yeah, King's living with the future president, and they're just good friends. Where was I at?
I don't know.
Also, I don't know why the guy from the Texas Christian University was studying this. I don't know if he was supporting or against it or what.
He's secretly gay.
Probably.
He's like, I'm only doing this so that way we have some queer knowledge on how to prevent this, but secretly he just wanted to know for
exactly,
himself.
Right. All right, so number 12, Thomas Morton. Oh, we have more visitors coming. Okay, go ahead.
Well before the American Revolution, Plymouth Colony non-traditionalist Thomas Morton committed to a different sort of revolutionary act. According to Michael Bronsky's A Queer History of the United States, Morton broke off from the colony and founded Marymount, a community that broke cultural taboos of the time and celebrated same-sex desires and interracial marriages well before the Puritan values of the era would evolve. They had giant statues that they would dance around.
Yeah, the maypole ceremony, again, in our Puritan episode. A very gay town, but it had a very sad ending.
Oh, yeah, of course, because they were gay.
Yeah, because of homophobes. But still, yeah, Thomas Morton's probably one of my favorite, like, early settlers, like, story of him. And I love that he called his place Marymount. So, James Buchanan, you might have heard of this. Like, that name sounds familiar. He was actually a president.
Never heard of him.
Never heard. Of course you haven't. The only bachelor to ever be elected president, which, come on, bachelor.
You're the president
please.
And you don't have a wife or something?
Yeah, it's during that time. This is like, what, the 1800s? Yeah, okay. So James Buchanan, by multiple accounts, engaged in gay relationships and may be remembered in history as the first gay president. Which, did you see that thing with Peter Buttigieg, where he said that we most certainly had a gay president before him?
Oh, I actually didn't see that. I remember there was an article. I didn't click on it. I don't know if there was a video clip or anything. It was something like that, though.
Yeah. So, and he was being interviewed, and he was like, we've definitely had a gay president before, and I'm sure we've had a couple, but James Buchanan was probably the first, and definitely super gay. Senator William Rufus King alleged that he had an affair with Buchanan. King actually said he had an affair with him. According to Larry Flint's well-researched One Nation Under Sex.
Sounds like a great book.
It does. King and Buchanan even lived together while both were in the Senate. Indeed, scholars note that in one letter Buchanan wrote after King left to become an envoy to France for his sadness at the departure, and that he would need to go wooing to several gentlemen in unsuccessful search of similar affection.
What kind of affection?
You know what kind of affection.
The best kind. Ready?
Dick-sucking affection.
Number 14, Abraham Lincoln.
Wow, the most notorious.
An inspiration to the log cabin Republicans even today, Abraham Lincoln's sexuality has been questioned publicly for a century and a half. Most notably, Lincoln appeared to have a long-running relationship with Joshua Speed, historian C.A.
C.A., yeah.
Okay. Historian C.A. Tripp delves into this and other relationships, including suggestions that Lincoln regularly shared a bed with a bodyguard in the intimate world of Abraham Lincoln. That's probably why he got killed. He probably, like...
He's pissed off a homophobe?
Yeah, no, he was probably fucking this guy, and then he didn't want to fuck him anymore, and he came up with a gun.
There's
and was like,
actually...
You know what?
There's some book or something, whatever, where someone insinuated that John Wilkes Booth was actually a sperm lover. So, like, he didn't. You,
that's what happened.
That's why he killed Lincoln.
He had those wooden teeth. He would take them out. They were great or something.
That's George Washington, but whatever. Yeah, sure. Two big presidents.
I grew up in the Gary education system.
Oh, yeah. No, but Lincoln was definitely. But what's sad about the log cabin Republicans is that, like, Lincoln was such a progressive person, and they're actually, like, trying to stay back in the dark ages. Like, they're like, but we're gay. Okay, but you don't fight for equality for anyone else, so I don't know. Fuck you.
much.
Fuck you with a wooden spike.
Yeah, just like George Washington.
All right, so the last one on our list is Charity Bryant and Sylvia Drake. Maybe they weren't military revolutionaries, but the daughters of the American Revolution may be remembered as one of the United States' first same-sex union. Has a spelling error in this really historically accurate article. The two women moved in together in 1807 and stayed a couple for 44 years, according to Rachel Hope Cleaver's Charity and Sylvia, a same-sex marriage in early America. I don't know anything about this. I think
you may hear two dogs in the background. They just invaded the studio.
This is now their studio.
Well, there's a dog and a rat, if I may be honest.
Don't call Stewie a rat. He's a little different looking. He's special. Anyways, I don't know anything about Charity and Sylvia. We'll have to cover them one day. I've like seen their names, but I don't know what they did other than be a couple. I think they were popular, like people like them as friends, but I don't know what they did. So
we'll figure it out.
We'll find out one day. We'll cover them eventually. But so that is our list of 15 gay founding fathers and sisters and allies and mothers. Fathers, mothers, and allies. Because George Washington we're going to count as an ally, even though Paul doesn't want to.
No, he was taking a wooden spike up the ass for the Freemasons.
But that's not gay. That's just what you got to do for the initiation. Okay? Everybody knows that.
So follow us on social media.
Yes, at Your Queer Story. Check out our Patreon page and support us if you can.
And stay queer.
Don't get a lobotomy.
Have a great 4th of July, you suckling saphists.
Yeah, you little sodomites.
And our allied hookers.
And our...
Proud homocrats.
Our proud homocrats. Oh my God, I'm losing touch. Have a good holiday, guys.
Bye.
Bye.